Beloved soul, repeat after me in unwavering faith: money loves me. Money is drawn to me as rivers are drawn to the sea. I do not chase, I magnetize. I do not worry, I command, for I am backed by divine law, and what is mine by divine right cannot be withheld from me. Infinite supply knows my name, and it rushes to me now, under grace in perfect ways. I stand today as a child of the Most High, and I declare boldly I am worthy of wealth. I am worthy of ease. I am worthy of financial miracles that arrive without strain or struggle. Every coin, every note, every opportunity carries my signature on it. It seeks me because I am the appointed steward of divine abundance. There is no lack in God, therefore there can be no lack in me. Poverty is a shadow, and I walk in light. Scarcity is a lie, and I speak truth. The truth is money loves me. Prosperity adores me. Abundance clings to me like a loyal friend. I dissolve every belief of limitation. I release every story of struggle. I now align with the rhythm of effortless wealth. I do not toil, I flow. I do not grasp, I receive. Money comes to me in avalanches of abundance, from expected and unexpected sources, through channels known and unknown. I am the blessed of the Lord, and my cup runneth over. My hands are open, my heart is clean, my faith is unshakable. I walk in divine confidence, knowing the more I affirm, the more I attract. The more I praise, the more I receive. The more I speak life into my finances, the more life breathes through them. Every time I speak these words, I engrave them into the substance of the universe. Money loves me. Money seeks me. Money stays with me. Money multiplies through me. And I use it wisely, joyfully, generously, for I am a channel of divine circulation. The world may shout fear, but my soul whispers truth. The world may speak of recession, but I declare expansion, for I live under divine economy, not human limitation. Under divine law, my wealth is secure, increasing, and protected. Listen closely to this sacred decree, and let it echo through every cell in your being. I am rich in mind, rich in spirit, rich in supply. My thoughts are gold. My words are currency. My faith is my bank, and it never runs dry. Miracle money now appears. Bills are paid with ease. Debts dissolve like mist in sunlight. Money loves me, and I love money in its pure, divine form. Energy of freedom, channel of good, instrument of blessing. I welcome it. I honor it, I command it, and it obeys. Repeat boldly, with authority in your voice and certainty in your heart: money loves me. Money flows to me. Money stays with me. Money multiplies for me, under grace, in perfect ways. And so it is. Money is a divine servant, and I am its master under grace. When I speak this truth, I do not speak from ego, but from the spiritual understanding that man was never created to serve material things. We were created to command them through alignment with divine law. Money is not my ruler, it is my messenger. It obeys the energy I carry. It responds to the consciousness I hold. And if my consciousness is rooted in fear, worry, and unworthiness, then money hesitates. It lingers at a distance. But the moment I step into my true authority as a child of divine source, money recognizes its rightful master and flows toward me with loyalty and ease. I do not chase that which has already been assigned to me by spiritual decree. I simply take my position and speak from it. When a king speaks, he does not plead. When a queen commands, she does not beg. She speaks once, and the universe rearranges itself in obedience to her decree. So it is with money. Money is not emotional. It does not judge me. It does not choose favorites. It simply obeys spiritual law. And the law is clear: what you bless increases. What you fear escapes. Therefore, I bless money as a willing servant of good. I strip it of human fear and give it back its divine identity as a tool of circulation and blessing. When I release resistance, money finds open doors. When I dissolve guilt, money finds a joyful home. When I abandon thoughts of too much or not enough, I enter the rhythm of infinite supply, and money begins to flow like breath, effortlessly, naturally, consistently. I now affirm that money is not a test, a struggle, or a burden. It is a divine assistant, eager to carry out its assignment in my life. As I align with this truth, I feel a holy confidence rise within me. I no longer speak as a beggar of good, but as an heir of abundance. Divine law does not respond to desperation, it responds to certainty. So I declare with certainty: money serves me because I serve divine purpose. It flows to me because I flow with grace. It moves through me because I move in obedience to the law of circulation. I was not placed on this earth to toil in fear, but to demonstrate what divine wealth looks like in human form. And as I stand rooted in this understanding, I feel a gentle whisper from the next revelation drawing near. I am not seeking money. Money is seeking me because I carry the vibration of abundance. I am not seeking money. Money is seeking me because I carry the vibration of abundance. When a soul awakens to its divine identity, it no longer wanders the earth in search of provision. Provision begins to wander in search of it. Just as a magnet does not chase the metal, but simply holds its natural charge and allows all that is aligned with it to come forth, so do I allow wealth to locate me. I do not run after opportunity in fear of missing it. I stand in perfect stillness, anchored in divine knowing, and opportunity bows in recognition. Money is intelligent energy. It responds not to frantic motion but to spiritual certainty. The world teaches a doctrine of chasing, hustling, and competing, but divine law teaches a doctrine of aligning, attracting, and receiving. What is chased often resists. What is commanded through vibration must appear. When I affirm that money seeks me, I shift from the posture of a seeker to the posture of a receiver. I no longer ask, how will it come? I affirm, it is already finding me. My role is not to struggle but to remain in the frequency of gratitude, faith, and expectancy. That frequency is a signal sent out into the unseen, and money, being obedient to spiritual vibration, responds to that signal with unwavering loyalty. I am not hidden from my supply. My supply knows my name. It travels through channels known and unknown, through people near and far, through doors that appear and even doors I never imagined existed. Just as a river knows how to find the ocean, money knows how to find the one who is aligned with wealth consciousness. My only work is inner work. When I remain in joy, money recognizes me. When I remain in praise, money locates me. When I remain in peace, money feels safe to stay with me. I do not panic when money seems distant. I simply return to my vibration, for that is the true source of all wealth. I am like a lighthouse standing firm on the shore, not chasing ships, but shining my light so clearly that ships are drawn to me without hesitation. Money is that ship, guided by the light of my faith, and as I stand in this holy confidence, I feel no jealousy, no competition, no envy, for I know that what is mine by divine right does not belong to another. There is no shortage in the kingdom I serve. Infinite supply cannot be exhausted, and I claim my share with grace and authority. I now feel the next sacred law arising like dawn in my spirit. Every time I bless money, it multiplies. Every time I speak lack, it withers. Every time I bless money, it multiplies. Every time I speak lack, it withers. The tongue is a wand, and with it I either open the gates of abundance or seal them shut. Words are not mere sounds. They are commands etched into spiritual substance. When I speak well of money, I invite it to flourish in my life. When I curse it, fear it, or call it scarce, I send it away. The universe hears every declaration I make regarding my finances and responds with precision. If I speak of bills with dread, they increase. If I speak of supply with gratitude, it expands. So I choose carefully the words I allow to pass through my lips. I do not say, money is hard to earn. Instead, I affirm, money flows to me easily and freely. I do not say, I never have enough. I say, my supply is endless and always on time. Every blessing spoken over money is a seed, and every complaint is a weed. Divine soil does not discriminate. It causes whatever I plant, good or bad, to grow. Therefore, I speak only life into my finances. I praise in advance. I thank before receiving. I honor every dollar, for what I honor honors me. I now understand that money responds to reverence. When I treat it with resentment, it withdraws. When I treat it with respect and gratitude, it multiplies. I release the old belief that spirituality and wealth are separate. Wealth, when blessed, becomes holy. Money in the hands of the awakened is not greed, but divine assignment. It becomes a messenger of good, a tool for generosity, an extension of God's love in visible form. I do not fear wealth, I sanctify it with my words. When a farmer blesses his seed, he does not worry if the harvest will come. He knows that blessing activates the law. So it is with me. I plant words of abundance daily. Money increases through me. I am a magnet for divine prosperity. Everything I touch is prospered. As I speak these truths, I feel the soil of my life stir with new growth. Supply begins to bloom in places that once felt barren. Unexpected income appears. Creative ideas emerge. Channels of blessing open like rivers after rain. I refuse to speak against my own prosperity. I refuse to rehearse limitation. I refuse to give breath to what I do not wish to live. My words are instruments of creation, and I use them with holy intention. Money is not my enemy. Lack-minded speeches. I lay down that weapon today and pick up the language of abundance. And as I align my speech with the rhythm of increase, I feel the next revelation gently unfolding. My faith is my greatest currency, and it always pays more than human effort ever could. My faith is my greatest currency, and it always pays more than human effort ever could. Man has been trained to believe that toil is the price of abundance, that sweat alone earns reward. But divine law teaches a higher principle. It is not the toil of the hands, but the posture of the spirit that draws supply. Faith is the invisible coin of heaven, and when it is spent, it returns pressed down, shaken together, and running over. One moment of pure faith can accomplish what years of anxious striving cannot. Faith does not strain, it knows. Faith does not beg, it claims. Faith does not wonder if it will come, it announces that it already has. When I operate from faith, I enter a realm where limitation cannot follow. I no longer ask life to prove itself to me. I prove my trust in divine supply by standing firm, regardless of appearances. Appearances are but shadows, and faith deals with substance. I do not look to the outer to determine what is possible. I look within, for that is where my limitless account is held. Every time I choose belief over fear, I make a deposit into my spiritual treasury, and life pays it back with interest. Effort without faith leads to exhaustion. Faith infused into effort leads to miracles. Faith is the oil that makes the gears of opportunity move without friction. When faith is present, doors open without knocking. When faith speaks, resources rearrange themselves to obey. Faith does not hustle, it harmonizes. It aligns me with the frequency where abundance already exists, and in that alignment, what I need finds me with precision and ease. There are those who labor day and night yet remain empty-handed because inwardly they expect lack. And there are those who move with grace, who do less yet receive more because their faith has gone ahead of them and prepared the way. I choose to walk in that grace. I choose to believe that I am already provided for, even before the evidence appears. I choose to act as one who knows her supply is secure. Faith declares, "It is done," even when the field looks barren. Faith waters the seed with prayers instead of panic. Faith celebrates the invisible harvest long before the first shoots emerge. In this holy confidence, I become a magnet to all good. My energy shifts, and money responds. Opportunities recognize me. Resources feel drawn to me. I no longer chase, I attract. I do not convince, I command through certainty. And now, as this divine assurance settles deeper into my spirit, I feel the next truth rising. I am a divine distribution center. Money flows to me and through me in endless circulation. I am a divine distribution center. Money flows to me and through me in endless circulation. When I see myself only as a receiver, supply feels limited. But when I recognize that I am a channel through which infinite abundance moves, I step into a higher flow. I do not cling to money in fear. I allow it to circulate with freedom, knowing that every release in faith brings a greater return. Just as water stagnates when it is hoarded, but stays fresh when it flows, so does money remain vibrant and alive when it is allowed to move through divine circulation. I am not a reservoir of worry, I am a river of supply. A reservoir fears depletion and therefore clings. A river trusts its source and therefore flows. The more I release with trust, the more I receive with ease. I give with grace, I receive with joy, and in this holy exchange I become a magnet for miracles. I do not give from fear or obligation. I give from confidence that my supply is rooted in the infinite and cannot run dry. When I circulate money with gratitude, I activate the law of return, and it comes back multiplied, under grace, in perfect timing. Money is not meant to be trapped by fear, but to move as a living expression of divine generosity. When I bless others, I bless myself, for I am part of the same great flow. As I release, I declare, this is not loss, this is circulation. I am like a tree that releases fruit, trusting that more will grow in its place. Nature never clings, it trusts its source. And so do I. I do not fear the act of spending when it is done in faith, for I know that divine circulation brings it back to me pressed down and overflowing. This understanding dissolves greed, for greed is nothing more than the fear of not receiving again. But I know that I live in an abundant universe that responds to movement. Money that flows is money that grows. I am not trying to accumulate lifeless piles of currency. I am here to activate living circulation. I receive with grace, I distribute with wisdom, and in that balance I become a walking testimony of divine economy. With every act of faith-filled giving, I announce to the universe, I trust you as my source, not the number in my account. And the universe answers, then more shall be added unto you. I am a holy vessel of exchange, a sacred channel through which heaven sends resources into the world. My life is proof that spiritual wealth is not about holding tightly but flowing freely, and as this truth anchors deeper within me, I feel the next revelation rising gently in my spirit. Lack is not real, it is a belief. Supply is truth, for I live in a giving universe. Lack is not real, it is a belief. Supply is truth, for I live in a giving universe. The universe has never withheld, it only mirrors. It mirrors the images etched upon the mind, the expectations held in the heart, and the words spoken with conviction. Lack begins in belief before it ever appears in form. So I do not fight lack on the outside, I dissolve it within. I do not plead for supply. I awaken to the truth that supply has always been mine in spirit, waiting for my acceptance to call it forth. The world screams of shortage, but spirit whispers of endless provision. Flowers do not beg the earth to bloom, bloom is in their nature. Birds do not store barns of grain, they trust the rhythm of daily supply. And yet man, endowed with divine intelligence, often chooses fear over faith, contraction over trust. But I choose differently now. I choose to walk by spiritual vision, not by human sight. I choose to see abundance even when the world points to limitation. For I know that whatever I behold with inner vision must eventually take form in my reality. Lack is like a shadow, only present when something blocks the light. When fear blocks the light of truth, the shadow of shortage appears. But when I turn toward divine supply, the shadow disappears. I do not chase shadows, I turn to light. I no longer say, I don't have, for that statement cements lack into form. Instead, I declare, my supply is unfolding now, and in that declaration, I align myself with the current of divine provision. The universe responds not to need but to knowing. I remind myself daily that I am backed by infinite resources. I am connected to an endless source that cannot be depleted. Even if every visible channel closed, the source would open a new one, for what is mine by divine right cannot be lost. I do not depend on a single stream. I depend on the river of spirit that flows behind all streams. Channels may change, but source remains. Therefore, I am fearless. When I feel lack trying to speak through my mind, I gently silence it with truth. I am provided for. I live in an abundant universe. Supply is seeking me even now. I do not argue with fear, I override it with authority. And as I step firmly into this realization, fear loses its voice. Lack loses its illusion. Prosperity, which was always waiting at the edge of my belief, flows in gracefully, like light rushing into a room the moment a window is opened. And now, as this truth settles into my spirit like a holy calm, I feel the next divine revelation begin to unfold. I carry the fragrance of prosperity. Every place I enter becomes fertile ground for opportunity. I carry the fragrance of prosperity. Every place I enter becomes fertile ground for opportunity. Prosperity is not merely something I attract, it is something I emanate. It goes before me like a subtle perfume, announcing my presence to blessings that were already prepared in the unseen. I do not enter rooms as one who hopes to be chosen, I enter as one already favored by divine law. My energy speaks long before my words ever do. Opportunity recognizes me not by appearance or effort, but by vibration. I am clothed in the invisible garment of abundance, and everything aligned with prosperity feels drawn to me. I do not chase chances, I carry an atmosphere that makes chances chase me. Prosperity is not something I beg from life, it is something life yields, because I carry the consciousness that commands it. Just as flowers attract bees not by effort, but by essence, I draw wealth to me through the essence of certainty, gratitude, and joy. I do not strain to be seen, my abundance makes me visible. I do not push to be remembered, my frequency leaves an imprint. Wherever I go, I carry an inner knowing that the environment shifts in my favor. Even in places where others see limitation, doors begin to form for me. Even in dry land, I become a source of water. People feel ease around me because abundance lives in my aura. Ideas feel safe to land with me. Money feels honored in my care. I am not anxiously grasping, I am graciously receiving. This grace makes everything around me soften and open. I am a walking invitation to prosperity. I do not wait for the right atmosphere, I am the atmosphere. I do not wait for opportunity to knock. Opportunity senses the opening in my spirit and comes of its own accord. When I step into a new space, I silently affirms, this place prospers because I am here. Favor rests upon me. Abundance recognizes me. Wealth flows toward me with ease. In this consciousness, I do not fear unfamiliar territory. I do not doubt my place in rooms of influence and increase. I understand that prosperity is not tied to a location but to a vibration, and I carry that vibration with me always. Even if placed in a desert, I would bloom. Even if sent into a closed system, new channels would emerge because abundance flows through me, not to me. I am a vessel, not a beggar. I am appointed to shift the atmosphere, not adapt to the limitations within it. And as this sacred assurance continues to rise like a song within my soul, the next divine principle begins to unveil itself with gentle authority. Money loves order, clarity, and gratitude. Where these dwell, abundance stays. Money loves order, clarity, and gratitude. Where these dwell, abundance stays. Prosperity is not chaotic, it aligns itself with environments that reflect peace, faith, and intention. Just as a guest prefers a home that is welcoming and well-tended, money prefers a consciousness that is clear, grateful, and grounded. When my inner world is cluttered with fear, resentment, or confusion, abundance hesitates. But when I bring my thoughts, words, and actions into divine order, money feels at home with me. Order is a spiritual language. It declares, I am ready. When I organize my finances with love instead of avoidance, when I track my resources with gratitude instead of anxiety, I am not just managing money. I am speaking fluently in the language of abundance. Divine supply responds to structure. Just as new wine requires a new wineskin, greater wealth requires a consciousness capable of carrying it without fear or waste. Money does not amplify lack, it amplifies stewardship. If I treat what I have with honor, I make room for more. Clarity is also a key. When I am clear about my intentions, my goals, and my values, the universe aligns with precision. Money loves a clear direction. It thrives where there is vision, purpose, and decisiveness. I do not ask vaguely, I declare specifically. I do not say, I hope things improve, but rather, I welcome divine increase in graceful and orderly ways. Clarity is a signal of readiness, and heaven responds to readiness like lightning to a lightning rod. And gratitude is the magnet that locks abundance into place. Gratitude does not wait for arrival, it celebrates in advance. Whatever I am grateful for expands. Even a small amount, when blessed, begins to multiply. Gratitude takes the little and makes it much. When I say, thank you for this provision, I am not thanking lack. I am thanking the source that promises endless supply. Every breath of gratitude is like watering a tree whose roots run deep into the unseen. So I now live in divine order. I bring peace to my finances. I clear away the clutter of fear-filled thoughts. I speak clearly about my desires without apology. And I give thanks, not out of duty, but out of holy confidence. Abundance feels safe in my presence because I no longer repel it with confusion or dishonor. I have prepared a sacred dwelling place in my consciousness for wealth to live, grow, and circulate. And as this truth settles gracefully within me, preparing my spirit for the next revelation, I feel the divine whisper continue its flow. I do not hustle, I align. I do not force, I receive. I do not beg, I declare. I do not hustle, I align. I do not force, I receive. I do not beg, I declare. When a soul finally understands its authority under divine law, the frantic energy of striving begins to dissolve. Hustle is born from fear, from the belief that, if I don't make it happen, it won't happen. But alignment is born from faith, which whispers, what is mine is already moving toward me. I do not chase what belongs to me. I magnetize it by simply being in harmony with my true identity, an heir of abundance. Force is the language of a mind disconnected from trust, but receiving is the language of a heart anchored in divine certainty. Life does not respond to frantic effort, it responds to inner agreement. When my spirit is in agreement with abundance, I become a vessel ready to receive without strain. I do not push against the current, I flow with the river of divine supply. In that flow, ideas appear effortlessly, connections arise naturally, and provision unfolds without anxiety. What others strive for, I receive through grace, because I walk in the rhythm of spiritual ease. Begging is the posture of someone who believes they are separate from their source. Declaring is the posture of one who knows they are one with it. I do not stand outside the gates of abundance pleading for entry. I stand within, for the kingdom of supply is already within me. My declarations are not requests, they are activations. When I say, wealth flows to me now, I am not trying to convince the universe, I am aligning my vibration with what already exists in spirit, waiting to manifest in form. I do not confuse activity with productivity. There are those who move constantly but create little because their energy is rooted in fear. And there are those who move with intention, speaking few but powerful words, taking aligned steps, and abundance appears for them with ease. I choose the latter. I no longer glorify struggle, I glorify alignment. I no longer worship hustle, I honor divine timing. When I walk in alignment, peace becomes my companion. There is no panic in my steps, no desperation in my tone. I know that the universe is a friendly place, arranged to support those who move in harmony with their purpose. So I speak with authority, I act with peace, and I trust with unwavering certainty. That is alignment. And now, as this revelation settles like sunlight upon my spirit, I feel the final truth rising like a triumphant hymn in my heart. As I declare, money loves me, I activate a sacred covenant with infinite source. No human law can override what divine law has authorized. As I declare, money loves me, I activate a sacred covenant with infinite source. No human law can override what divine law has authorized. This affirmation is not a mere phrase, it is a spiritual contract, a decree sealed in unseen realms. When I speak it, I align my consciousness with a higher economy, untouched by fear, unaffected by recession, beyond the limits of circumstance. I step out of the world's narrative of scarcity and step into the divine narrative of overflow. Money loves me is not wishful thinking. It is an announcement of identity, a reminder of inheritance, a declaration of spiritual ownership. Money responds to identity more than effort. When I see myself as separate from wealth, wealth mirrors that separation. But when I recognize that I am a vessel chosen to circulate divine abundance, money hears its command and answers. This covenant is not based on performance. It is based on position. I am positioned under grace, and grace does not operate through strain. It operates through spiritual assurance. In this assurance, I do not fear delay, for I know that divine timing is never late. I do not fear loss, for I know that what is aligned with me by divine right cannot be taken by human hand. Each time I declare, money loves me, I speak to the energy of wealth and remind it of its assignment. Money is not chaotic, it is obedient. It listens for the voice of authority, and that authority is found in faith-filled words. When I say, money loves me, I am not trying to make it true. I am acknowledging a truth that has always been. Money has always been ready to serve. It was only waiting for me to release the resistance within my own spirit. I feel the covenant deepen within me. I sense my vibration lift. I no longer entertain thoughts of separation from good. I no longer speak as one hoping to be blessed. I speak as one already blessed, already chosen, already backed by the wealth of heaven. I move through life with quiet confidence, knowing that even before a need arises, the supply has already been dispatched. I can almost feel the unseen provision traveling toward me now, guided by the frequency of my declaration. And so I continue to speak, money loves me. Money comes to me, money stays with me, and money multiplies for me, under grace in perfect ways. This is my covenant. This is my rhythm. This is my truth. And as I live in this truth, I become a demonstration to the world that abundance is not earned through fear, but received through alignment. Now, let this sacred covenant echo through every corner of my being, and may every cell of my body, every thought in my mind, and every action I take bear witness to this divine truth: money loves me.